Welcome to Windy City Waves. I'm your host, Don Herrera. Today I will be covering the most recent news from the Chicago Bears and their OTAs that started May 21st and will continue for the next 2 weeks. The biggest news coming out of the OTAs are the new position changes for 4 returning players. James Daniel, he's changing from left guard to center. Cody Whitehair is changing from center to left guard. Bradley Sowell is changing from offensive tackle to tight end. And he's going to also have a number change from 79 to 85. Taquan Mizell is changing his position from running back to wide receiver, and he's also changing his number from 33 to 11. James Daniel has played center throughout all of his college career, therefore it's pretty familiar for him. The move for left guard is pretty comfortable for Cody Whitehair as well, as he played left guard and left tackle in college. Through these 3 years, Cody Whitehair has played center throughout all of his 3 years for the Chicago Bears. He's actually started every single game, and he's actually had a couple slip-ups. So it should be kind of refreshing having a true center playing the center position this year for the Bears. Taquan Mizell has always been a running back in his football career, although he's always been a receiving back. Actually, 1 year in his college career, he had more receiving yards than he did have rushing yards, with 721 receiving yards and 664 rushing yards. Actually, this past season, he actually had more receiving yards than rushing as well, as he had 16 yards on 9 carries, and on 8 receptions, he actually had 78 yards with 1 touchdown that came versus the Lions on a pass from Chase Daniel. So he's obviously a better receiver than he is a running back, but with this crowded receiving core that the Chicago Bears currently have, it's still going to be pretty tough for him to make the roster. Bradley Sowell has been with the Bears since the 2017 season, with a total of only 3 starts, but he's always been versatile, as 2 of his starts were at left guard, and 1 of his starts was actually this past season at fullback. He's obviously known for his 1 touchdown pass against the Rams, which, granted, it was a great touchdown. But that's not the only reason why I can see him being a tight end this upcoming season. As his last season, in the last week of the year, he played fullback versus the Vikings, and he created a good amount of decent holes for running back Jordan Howard, allowing him to have one of his best games of the season. So, with his versatility at guard, tackle, and ability to play fullback, he's, I can genuinely see him making the team this season as a tight end / fullback option for the Bears, and actually emergency tackle for the Bears as well. The Chicago Bears have recently released their top 100 Chicago Bears list in celebration of their centennial season. The players I'd like to highlight off that list are Eddie Jackson at 96, Brian Urlacher at 14, Khalil Mack at 60, and starting off with Eddie Jackson, with only 2 years in the NFL, he has managed to become one of the top 100 Chicago Bears of all time. With a total of 12 turnovers and 3 touchdowns, I'd say it's well deserved, and it's only looking up from here. Brian Urlacher, a lifetime Bear, a true example of what the Chicago Bears are and what they represent, but only at 14, he was the face of a franchise for a struggling team in the early 2000s and even managed to bring that team to a Super Bowl in 2005. With the total stats of over 1,000 tackles, 100 of which were behind the line of scrimmage, 41.5 sacks, 20-plus interceptions, 90 pass deflections, and 11 forced fumbles, he deserves to be top 10 Bears of all time easily. And now Khalil Mack. With only 1 season rocking the blue and orange, Khalil Mack still managed to be one of the best Bears of all time. Granted, it is at 60, but with his 12.5 sack season and 6 forced fumbles, he would have easily been the defensive MVP if it weren't for Aaron Donald having his 20-plus sack season this season. Now, 3 players I feel that should have made the list this season, or not just this season, but in general, that did not make the list. Number 1, Marty Booker, wide receiver Marty Booker. Number 2, defensive tackle William Perry. And number 3, running back Tariq Cohen. Marty Booker, possibly the most talented wide receiver the Bears have had in the modern era before Alshon Jeffrey and Brandon Marshall. With 2,000-plus seasons as a Bear and the more receiving yards than Willie Gault, who actually did make the list for the Chicago Bears, he also had one of the best catches I've ever seen in a Chicago Bears uniform. He only played 6 seasons for the Bears, which is probably some of the reason as to why he didn't make the list. He was consistent when he did play, and I guarantee if he had a top 15 quarterback at any point of his career with the Bears, he would have easily made the list. William the Refrigerator Perry, a Chicago legend, one of the most iconic Bears of all time. I was not around during the 85 Bears season, but one of the first highlights I've ever seen from the 85 Super Bowl was him making a touchdown on the goal line. Yes, he's a big D tackle and he made a touchdown. But, he was actually a pretty respectable D lineman as well. He had over 500 tackles in his career, about 30 sacks, and he was even good enough to sign with Buddy Ryan's Eagles after he ended his career with the Bears. Now, the last guy I have on this list is Tariq Cohen. With Eddie Jackson making the list, I would not have been surprised if Tariq Cohen made the list as well, as he's been one of the most electric players that the Bears have ever had since Devin Hester. He's also the only Bear to throw for a touchdown, receive a touchdown pass, rush a touchdown, and return a touchdown all in the same year since Gale Sayers. Yes, Gale Sayers. That was number 5 on that list. So within these past 2 years, he's compiled 1,892 yards rushing and receiving with a total of 12 touchdowns, including his punt return versus the 49ers on his rookie season. He's also has proven his worth on this list. Once it's all said and done, I guarantee that at the end of his career, he's going to be a top 100 Bear easily. From Windy City Waves, once again, I'm Adon Herrera. Thank you, and until next time.